that.
Hey, welcome to Leaving CrazyTown with Finn and Sarah. Once again, we're here in Tennessee. It's beautiful out.
Beautiful.
And once again, we have a guest, Amanda.
Amanda's our guest. We're going to discuss
Her difficulty with sticking to the facts.
all of our difficulties. We love to live in Fantasyland, but the problem is it gets us into trouble.
Why do we live in Fantasyland?
I don't know.
Because we don't want to feel, we don't want to act, we don't want to do anything that makes us uncomfortable.
Period at the end. All right. So,
Take it away.
Take it away. Okay.
That's a long pause,
It's
so
a long pause.
I'll interject while you think. Do 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 do.
I got thrown because this is the Finn and Sarah show, and once again, chapter 13 in Co Crazy, written by Dr. Sarah Michelle.
Not to be mistaken with Step 13.
That'll be in another. Oh, we shouldn't say that another episode.
Sticking to the facts.
What are the facts?
All right. Give us an example of kind of when we're in Fantasyland and then how we can get into reality by sticking to the facts and why it's helpful. Anybody? Anybody got an example? All right.
Got lots of examples.
All right.
They're not coming to mind right now, but I like when I think up I make up facts about what someone else is thinking or feeling. That's one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, usually this is where it really manifests. Okay, I'm going to lay this on you guys. When people start new relationships, very often, and I want to give the example of when Finn was, all right, I don't know if he's going to cut this out, but when Finn was trying to date and he met a woman
who loved everything I hated and hated everything I loved.
And yet he said,
there might be something.
I think I'm going to meet with her. And I said, what are the facts? The facts are she hates the beach. She loves politics, and she loves the news, all of which are opposite of what you love.
And she's an atheist, and I'm spiritual.
So, all right, that's a quick example.
I know, but you know what? I probably could have got her to like the beach, got her to stop listening to the news, and become spiritual in a month or so's time.
Denial land. All right, that's denial land. But why I'm bringing this arena up is it is an arena that's very tricky because our desire to be attached gets activated. Our desire to be loved gets activated. And it's very easy, not that I've ever done it, although I did write a book about all my relationship failures, to stay in. It's easy to want to make something a fantasy when we don't want to feel the pain of giving it up. Okay, that's really what it's about.
And when we don't have anything, I don't know, when I told that woman that you mentioned that, I said, I've thought about it. It doesn't appear that we have a lot in common. And she said, oh, thanks for being honest. When I was fearful, I don't want to hurt her feelings. She wasn't going to have feelings. I just talked to her on freaking app.
Right.
What's she going to have feelings about?
It's the underlying fears of all kinds of things. Fears that someone's not going to like me. Fears of what I'm going to feel. Fear that the relationship will end.
Oh, here's a real simple one.
Go ahead.
No, I can't go to lunch today. And then we spend all day thinking up all the stories as to why they can't go to lunch, what we did, how they feel about us, whatever. That's adding when the facts are the person couldn't go to lunch.
Exactly. And I just realized Amanda's the guest, and I don't think she said a word so far, so we're going to turn it over to
Amanda.
I think of a recent experience where I was responsible for training a fellow at work, and we really needed the help, so we really needed to get him trained, and I was the one tasked with training him. And I had a couple of months of crazy thinking and behavior because the fact was he probably wasn't going to stay in Tennessee. He had family and connections still in the previous state.
Yeah.
But instead of acknowledging the facts, I created a whole scenario where he was patriarchal.
He
didn't like a female trainer. I created stories that his job performance, because he probably wasn't going to stay there. So he wasn't giving the 110% that I expected.
That's probably all about you.
And it was a reflection on me because I had trained him. So I had created all kinds of stories when the facts were he was trying it out, and he probably wasn't going to stay. And
Right, but think about this. This is so great
He
because
probably couldn't stand you. He needed to get out of there.
But what's so great about this is the stories often are created out of fear. If we look back and do a deeper dive into that situation, you might be thinking, he's not going to stay. Oh, crap, what am I going to do? So I'm going to make him wrong and make up stories about who he is to justify my anger at the fact that this guy might leave after I've trained him. Is
You know
any
what?
of that?
Sorry.
yes, or the fact if he leaves, I may have to go back to working 60 to 80 hours a week because I'm unable to set boundaries with my boss.
You know,
Another form of crazy.
the interesting...
And another fact. That's the truth. All right, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say the interesting thing about like living with people, working with people, relationships with people, there is a simple way to clarify some stuff. One, the simple staying to the facts, but also asking the person what's going on for them. And I've
Directly.
often been surprised
Yes.
that the story I created in my own head about it being about me
Yes.
has nothing to do with me.
Yep.
They'll say this is going on, they miss being home, or they're having a hard time in school or something.
Yes.
And it doesn't have anything to do with me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We make up a lot of stories, you guys. And
Sarah, how about you? Do you have any stories that you've made up? We'd like to hear from you.
If you don't have the book, you get all the good stories there.
I make up stories constantly about people, and I guess one of the tools we could use is
evades.
knowing, and we say this all the time, but this is so critical, you guys. Your thoughts are just thoughts. They have nothing to do with reality. Just thinking. And we always say, just notice. Because whatever we're making up about someone else or what we're making up about ourselves, the only way we'll know the truth or the facts is to ask them.
So one of the things that I do also is if I don't have the ability to ask them, I'll create a story. I will get a piece of paper out
Yeah.
and I'll write out what happened. What am I telling myself about what happened?
Yes.
And the last thing is, what do I actually know?
Beautiful.
And I'm always surprised
Beautiful strategy.
at how there's some difference in there between what I'm telling myself about the story than what I actually know.
Because a lot of times the thinking is just from fear, right? We get afraid and we start making up stories to make ourselves feel better. I mean, we were just talking about that earlier. Go ahead.
No, I don't have anything to add. What
All
about
right.
you?
Anything else? So this is get the book. If you are making up stories or you're really in your head a lot and it's causing you pain around a certain issue, whether it's your relationship with your child, whether it's a relationship with your spouse, say to yourself something that really helps me. And this is another thing. When I feel overwhelmed with a certain issue, really helps to write down the facts. Because feelings of being overwhelmed, really, really helpful to just write down the facts. The facts could be just two things, two items. The feelings very often aren't the same as the facts.
And I want to be clear. If your list of facts starts with they think, they feel, they believe, those are not
Go
facts.
crazy!
You don't know. Stick to what you know,
Yes.
not what they think, they feel, they believe.
Amen.
Unless, of course, you've asked them.
That's brilliant. Those are the tools, people. We're leaving CrazyTown. Fasten your seatbelt.
Subscribe. Leave us a comment. Let us know what you do to stick to the facts.
Oh, that's a good one.